Jim, Marty, thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for participating in our first Wesley United Methodist marriage retreat. And going forward, I just want to ask some questions of you. If you could share who you are, how long you've been at Wesley, and or what prompted you to go to the marriage retreat.
I'm Marti Dallmeyer, and we've been married. This year will be our 10th year, and we went to the retreat after we'd been married, I think, 6 years, and we have a blended marriage, and so this is not our first time, and so we decided we could make our marriage better and stronger by going to this particular event.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It really was a great experience. It gave us an opportunity to take 2.5, say 3 days, and set it aside and focus on our relationship with each other and how we can make our marriage better. And it was just a wonderful, fun, educational time that the two of us were able to spend together. And I really appreciate your leadership in that.
Right. That's
Awesome.
Excellent.
You said you appreciated my leadership, but one of the things I'd like to ask is, through the course of the marriage retreat, did you feel like you were lectured at, or did you feel like it was a group effort and or a kind of a facilitated discussion that anyone would feel safe sharing and or participating?
I thought it was a facilitated discussion where anyone would feel comfortable in sharing information that they might not share somewhere else. And it was very beneficial for all of us.
Absolutely. It seemed to me that you had a number of topics, and you just offered them up for thought and reflection. And we were free to take what we wanted and discard what we didn't. And I've already said it was a great opportunity.
You've kind of already dealt with this, but I just want to emphasize, would you recommend this for others? And do you think this retreat is specific to any age group?
I would recommend this retreat to others, and I don't think it's specific to any age group. Yes, we are older, we've had lots of experiences, but we still learned quite a bit. And we would recommend it to our children who are young married couples, and we would babysit for them or others if they would want to go to such a retreat. We would recommend it to people who are becoming empty nesters. We would recommend it to people who are retired and people who are entering second or marriages. We think that that's important.
Awesome. I want to re-emphasize one of the things that you said. A lot of times when we do the retreat, particularly young adults or young marrieds, feel that they're super busy and nobody will watch the kids. So the fact that you all, as parents, as grandparents, would go out of your way to do that or accept, I hope is something that everyone hears. Did you have any fears going to the retreat?
A little bit. I had a few fears because we had been married 6 years, and it was, okay, I'm not sure, if this is going to end up well or if it's not going to end up well.
Bad time to change your mind.
That's right. But we knew that we could grow as a couple, and that's what we did.
One of the powerful things I think about the retreat is people learn to be vulnerable with each other. So in that vulnerability, a lot of times I hope folks became stronger. But one of the points I also want to ask is, do you think from going to this retreat you got to know people in the church closer and or felt more connected to them?
Go ahead.
Absolutely. It was a fun weekend. It was a fun opportunity for my wife and I to spend time very focused on particular topics that you had offered to us to reflect on. And we had fun with the other couples whom we had known from church, some better than others, but it was just a fun opportunity to know people at a much more intimate, close level.
Awesome. Any suggestions about the pace of the retreat, and or would you recommend people taking the day off to go?
I would recommend people taking the day off. I think the pace of the retreat was fine. It allowed for discussion. Topics were brought up. We've discussed personalities. We discussed 5 languages of love. It gave us a lot of time to cover the topic and then cover it as a group, and then also be able to discuss it between my husband and myself. And then we can move on. And we had time to socialize too. So it helped develop our relationships with many of the people in the church as a result.
Marty, I just need to give my personal thanks that you were indisputable part of the success of the retreat, because I can prepare the presentations, but the way you came alongside me and helped with the food was priceless. That I want to ask, in terms of you feeling like you were involved in ministry and or serving, would you suggest something like that for others?
Oh, I would, and I'd be glad to help anyone who would be interested in such doing, helping with the food or bringing some snacks, because it is a multi-day event. And so you have times when you want, something to snack on and while you're discussing various topics. And then also people who may not be able to attend but could possibly help with babysitting, so that young couples or older couples could actually go to this event. All of that is very, very helpful.
I guess that's a big piece I want people in the church to hear. Even if they can't go in the church, this is part of the overall ministry and our health of the church, that if they're simply willing to serve, making copies, watching kids, purchasing snacks, bringing snacks, those all are instrumental to being successful overall.
Right, they're very helpful, and then it helps the retreat. It also helps develop the relationships between couples, and it helps develop the relationships within the church. So all of that it's a win-win-win-win situation for all of us.
Great. I think we've covered.